Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Ben, for inviting us to talk today. I think it's indeed a wonderful opportunity to have this exchange. You know, the French, and especially French diplomats, have a reputation of being great talkers. Even in English, they are. Challenged to speak after and I'll try to be as concise as he was, so that we have some room for discussion afterwards. First of all, there are many things that he said that I fully share. So we are perfectly along the same lines, the philosophy of the commemoration, and I will try to avoid. I had prepared a PowerPoint presentation, but I will try to avoid repeating what he said, so I will improvise a little bit. So at first, I found it nice to speak louder. Yeah. Okay.
I can turn it up.
I'll take this one because I'm
to
lean like that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me better like this?
No. Oh, yeah. Now it's strong enough. Okay. Good. Yes, yes. And so I don't have to bend. I can stand to it. So, this is an impressionist painting of the devastation of the First World War. Why are we celebrating in Belgium? And there are many reasons, as Stefan said, and many angles. I would start to say that in Belgium also it's no longer, we are no longer celebrating a victory against a former enemy. And I will start by telling you a small anecdote. I was, before coming here, ambassador in Rabat, in Morocco. And the 11th of November was celebrated on the French cemetery in Rabat, organized by the French Embassy. And on the first row of this commemoration, next to the French ambassador, was the German ambassador. I think it tells a lot about the spirit of this commemoration nowadays. And I fully share the view of Stefan. It's maybe not the moment here to speak a lot about that, but that the European project is really the result of the First and the Second World War. And this is the conclusion that we have drawn in Belgium. So I come back from a Belgian perspective. Why are we commemorating World War I? But of course, as you know, it was a violation of international laws. Germany invaded Belgium despite its neutral status. We were one of the major battlefields. We were almost entirely occupied, but not all. There was a small corner of Belgium, the southwest corner, that had been flooded, and so we could resist the German invasion of that part and offer a bridgehead for Allied troops. It's also a war that had far-reaching consequences on our population, as you know, and there was a great awareness in the public opinion in Australia of that, the suffering of civilian populations. So how are we going to try to commemorate that? Which are the various angles that we will have? I think what is most important is the conclusion. So what is the World War I was a terrible butchery, and what is the best way to avoid that we have such a thing happen again? And that's why after these two wars, Belgium became a staunch advocate of multilateralism. We are great believers in the European project and in the UN, despite that, all the critics that they may deserve. I think that peace is better preserved by multilateral institutions than by alliance, that as we had before World War I, the Bismarckian systems, where every country or every set of countries feel threatened. So we will, of course, pay tribute to all the sacrifices, and Australia is certainly a place, it's a country which has paid a very heavy tribute to World War I. I'm struck here that you hardly meet an Australian who has not a great founder or great grand uncle who has fought in the West Front. The international solidarity, of course, the fact that we enjoy this solidarity to people so far away, coming from so far away as New Zealand and Australia came to fight to free our country. I think we should express our gratitude for that. As was discussed this morning, that it should be an effort of collective memory, that the youth who may tend to be less concerned by these events should really realize what happened and what is the historical importance. And then, as I'd say, to take this opportunity to reaffirm certain values, respect for human rights, respect for freedoms, respect for democracy. It's a striking fact that in history, two democracies have never fought a war against each other. And so that our youth can draw the conclusion what is the best way to avoid wars, maybe to promote democracy, to promote human rights, and to promote tolerance. When to celebrate this event 4 years, so we will have, I would say, 4 great phases. This is, by the way, a caricature of the great mother represented by various sort of dogs fighting each other. So we will start the celebration next August. The commemoration. I shouldn't use the word celebration. Commemoration. This 4th of August, which was the date the German troops invaded Belgium and violated its neutrality. This will take place in Liège, Mons, that were the first cities to fall under the German invasion. There were 4 cities that did not resist a very long time because the attack was massive, and it was a war of movement. So we'll pay tribute to the fallen soldiers and also to the civilians. There will be a high-level international participation, inclusive from Australia. The second stage is our king, Albert I, withdrew from the front from Liège and Mons, went to Antwerp, which fell also, and then we opened the locks on the Eiser River. So it's a river which is cutting across the southwest corner of Belgium. So all these plains were flooded, and it stopped the German invasion. And so started the trenches war. We will then commemorate it around October in the cities of Ypres and Newport, this second stage in the war, and putting the accent on the role of our king, which was the last Belgian king to really head an army, to be a general, and to the population. Then stage 3 is the commemoration of the first time in modern warfare of the use of gas attack, first chlorine gas and then mustard gas. People soldiers trying to protect themselves with with makeshift means, because they were very surprised. And we will take this opportunity to put the emphasis on the campaign to ban chemical weapons. And it is very linked to what is happening currently with the use of chemical weapons in Syria. The 4th stage is the celebration of the resistance by the population against the occupation, and the population uniting behind its king and its queen. And the 5th stage, and it is particularly important for Australia and Anzac troops, is the commemoration of the terrible battles of Ypres, Battle of Messines, of Assental, and then the last stage will be this time the celebration of the armistice and the end of the war. On a more bilateral note, so of course Australia will be especially involved for the 2017 celebration, where the Anzac Day will be a lot of very important events with a lot of visitors from Australia, a lot of high-ranking officials, and we will try to seize this opportunity to build bridges between our populations. I think that I'm not sure Belgium has a very high profile here in Australia, but we are known for something that is the poppy fields of Flanders, and so this will be an opportunity to create more links, and of course to pay tribute to the dead, to the wounded, to share memories. There will be exhibitions, there will be archives that will put in our digital format. We also try to give a personal touch, highlighting some personal stories, linking history and personal stories. So the Anzac Day, the Battle of Ypres, focusing on the next generation, as I say, there we will try to have as many school exchanges as we have between students from Belgium and Australia, and links between communities. As you know, also they have this project to have this heritage and remembrance trails through various battlefields, where we are working together with the Australian New Zealand government to renovate them first. There will be exhibition with artifacts from Belgium Australian Museum. And then you have a traveling exhibition that you may have seen because it came already to Australia, but it will be updated. The Belgians have not forgotten. So basically that's it. So one last comment. I think personally I am in the opinion that we should really stress not only the military heroic deeds and the sacrifice, which are of course important, but what were the causes which made this terrible butchery inevitable. Being a diplomat, I have studied extensively the international European context, the political systems, the diplomatic alliances of one bloc against the others, the manipulation of public opinion. This morning I found the session very interesting, how even children can be manipulated to promote a certain brand of nationalism with hatred towards the others. Maybe the fact that military advisors were very powerful within all these governments, inclusive in our democracies on our side, and that certain decisions were made by them rather than by politicians, being more reluctant. So all these are still elements which may be very relevant for today's life, and how can we make sure that we live in a more peaceful world. So this is, and then, as Stefan said, that so World War II was really the consequence of World War I. We won the war, we lost the peace with the Versailles Treaty, which was very humiliating for Germany, where for the first time also we demanded that Germany recognizes that it had the responsibility of the war. We can't see history in terms of responsibility and find causes, reasons, and the reparations, insisting on that Germany paid these heavy reparations, which laid the ground for Nazism and for the Second World War, and that's the conclusion that protectionism is also another element. Before the First and Second World War, there was a rise of protectionism, and so this need to break these barriers in a violent way. No one else. Thank you very much.